What's up, YouTubers, Facebookers, virtual boat shoppers, and fishing fans and enthusiasts? All right, so 2021, I want to step up Wiedas Marine YouTube a notch. Now, we love y'all coming here, watch our content, to watch our boat walkthroughs. You know, obviously we're a boat dealer. Our main business is selling bass boats, okay? But I want to bring you all some more content this year, and I'm going to kind of be a beta year where I want to bring you guys some more fishing related content, more gear related content, fishing gear, tips, tactics. We're going to do our best. You know, in a business like this, you know, we're not doing YouTube full time, so it's a lot of work to keep up the videos. This year we are going to step it up a notch, and with that, I want to talk fishing rods. Now, for those of you that know me, follow me regionally in the area from fishing, I am a rod connoisseur. And what I mean by that is I'm always one that talks about rods having the proper actions. I have never used one brand of fishing rods or been, you know, loyal to one company, or, you know, to me it was, you know, this company always had the best frog rod, a fast tip frog rod. This company had a good moderate or parabolic bend glass crankbait rod. This company has a good, you know, extra fast tip shaky head Ned rod. And a lot of rod companies, I've always found that to be true. There's not a lot that make a good variety that's good at everything. So a couple years ago, I started fishing with a new rod company. They've not been out a long time. I started playing with them a little bit, and I really liked what I saw, liked the fact that they had some actions, and I'll go into that a little bit more in a minute. But new year, new YouTube, we're going to bring you some content about fishing on the water, maybe follow along in some of the tournaments I go to. But today we're talking about rods, and after 20 years of using pretty much all the rods on the market, which there's a million good rods, and the rod that I'm going to use this year, I'm not saying it's better than any of the other ones. I'm just saying, for me, my style, shallow water fishing, the main rods that I need is a good parabolic flipping stick, a composite glass crankbait rod, composite glass chatterbait rod, fast tip frog rod, and a good ultra fast tip spinning rod. Those are the main rods that I need. And this company, I feel, is doing it better than anybody else. So without further ado, I'm switching my hat up, and I am going all Ark this year, okay? I met the owner of Ark Rods at the Classic in Greenville, South Carolina a few years ago, and one of the comments that was interesting to me was, you know, most of your rods, there's only a few companies out there that make rod blanks. And most of them are made overseas. Well, this gentleman that owns Ark actually is involved in the factories. They actually have the control over the factories for quality control, and they're able to actually incorporate their own designs. So we are going to be carrying Ark rods at Wiedas Marine. Got a good selection, and I want to kind of go through their rod series, just check them out real quick, and then I want to go through some of the actions and why we decided to do this. We've not really sold rods in much fishing tackle here at Wiedas Marine. We stay pretty busy selling boats. It's kind of a lot of in and out with that, and we've not always sold tackle because it kind of, you know, sometimes it's been cumbersome to have, but we believe in this, so we want to sell it. So, Ark rods, what's what, okay? The first thing they have is they have the Brandon Cobb series, Brandon Cobb Touring Elite Series Pro. And this is the Cobb series right here. This rod is $99, $100, okay? And he's got a bunch of specific rods. You know, this one here is called the Do-All, kind of a do-all. But he's got his own camouflage, you know, camouflage handle on it and a cork butt. Cobb series, that's kind of, they have some line, they have a Lancer series below it. We didn't decide to stock that, thought these were pretty cool, and we were gonna have these Cobb series in stock. And then my favorite, and this is what I started out 4 years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, is the Tharp series, which I think has got some of the best moderate actions when I talk about parabolic, and I'm gonna go into that in a minute. But Tharp series got everything from a 610 spinning rod all the way up to a 711 Okeechobee Special, a good punch rod. They got a composite 711 glass deep diving crankbait. You can probably go all the way up to a 10XD, 6XD on that. It's pretty cool. And their most popular series is the Invoker series, okay? Invoker series, they've got pretty much everything they make is an Invoker series. You step up, I think the Tharps were $129 price point. You jump up to $149 price point on the Invoker Pros. And new this year, they've got the Invoker Limiteds, which is essentially the same blanks as the Invoker Pros. They have a little bit better components on them. They're only going to build 500 each of each model. You get a cool little digital card, like a card that comes with it, that's good for some different, keep up with you with emails, with special things. But rods, you know, what do I like about these that I decided to go with? And so I want to start with my favorite rod out of the whole line is the Randall Tharp series, okay? This is a 7.6 heavy. It's what I call a true flipping stick, and it's one piece. It's super light. They've got a really cool reel seat here. This is a custom reel seat. All right, it's very ergonomic. Lets you have the whole blank in your hand. And I don't know how all of you hold your rods, but for me, I've always really liked to put all my fingers in front of the reel, so I keep my index finger up here, keep in contact with the line. But on a flipping stick, a lot of people will say, well, why do you need a special flipping stick? You're fishing 10 feet away from the boat, you know, I just need a stiff rod. Most people don't use stiff enough of a flipping stick, okay? You don't need that stiff rod to get a hook and a fish. That is, you know, with the modern hooks we have, the fluorocarbon lines we have, you don't need a stiff rod to get a fish, get a hook set. But when you're fishing in heavy cover, you're fishing in brush, you're fishing in docks, you're fishing in grass, you've got to get that fish's attention and get his head up out of the stuff and coming your way. Now, a lot of flipping sticks on the market are fast. What I mean by fast is they only bend at the tip, okay? And in other rods, this is good. But however, due to the nature, the close range nature of flipping and punching, you know, pitching really, not many people flip anymore. Most of us are actually just, you know, either punching or we're pitching. But when I set the hook, I want you to see this rod, and I want you to see how this rod bends all the way almost back to the 50% point, okay? I'll change that angle again so that you can see it. This rod's actually bending all the way back into this guide right here. Why is that important? So when I set the hook on that fish, okay, heavy cover, rod loads up, that whole rod bends. If just the tip bends, what happens first of all is I don't cushion that hook set. I tend to get too harsh of a hook set, and that's not always good. You can have a lot of break-offs doing that, but here's the whole key to this. Before I ever crank the handle, before I set the hook, crack-a-lack, you know, right on that fish, before I ever turn that handle, this parabolic rod loads, and it's going to start to spring that fish out of the cover. The other important thing is with parabolic rod is when that fish is fighting, and you know, you set the hook, you know, on a smaller fish, okay, wants to fly out of the water, you lose your fish when that happens. When that tip, okay, goes slack. So when you have a parabolic bend, you have more range of motion that fish can move before the line goes slack, okay? And that is a very big element in a flipping stick. Besides that, the rods are light, they're sensitive, you know, very, very easy to fish with. And the Tharp series, again, pretty affordable rod, you know, compared to what's on the market. Let's go with the polar opposite of what I just talked about. Now, this is a spinning rod. This is the Reinforcer, which is their high-end model. These top out at around $349. Really cool cosmetics on these. You have an exposed blank here that, again, you can keep your fingers in contact with the blank, which is really, really cool. But this rod is this is the exact opposite, super fast, okay? So on a spinning rod, what we're doing most of the time is we're reel setting. So you just, you know, you're out here with a shaky head, fish bites, you reel down, and you pull, and you kind of want that fast tip. That fast tip also on your Neds and your shaky heads, it gives you that extra little bit of feeling, and it also, if you're sitting there, you're kind of working a bait in place, it really, really helps that. Yet the rod still loads good because we have light line, okay? We have light line, and we need to have the ability to cushion that on the you know, when we're fighting a fish. So, folks, I'm excited, changing things up a little bit this year, trying to bring you more fishing-related content, gear-related content. I'm excited to be working with the guys at Ark Rods. I think they got a great product, and we look forward to actually getting that product on the water and bringing you some live action. See you, folks.